Cool. All right, guys, we are recording. Jenny, what's going on?
That's a loaded question
Is
right
it?
now.
Oh, okay.
No, we're good.
Awesome.
I'm excited to be here. I think this is awesome. This has been, I really don't know, Ryan, what you had already said, but this has been something that's been on our minds for, gosh, we've been talking about this. I guess it was a year ago, right? Did you say
Yes.
that already? I don't know if you gave the backstory. So anyway, super excited to finally be doing this. And it's been a crazy day though. I don't know if it's the Halloween stuff or what, but um,
Halloween
all
was
that
yesterday.
sugar. What?
Halloween was yesterday. Oh, you mean all the sugar
Yeah.
high.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah.
Something is
Okay,
in the
I get
air
it.
today is all I have to say.
Cool.
So yes, thank you. Crazy is in the air. I agree. So Ryan, I don't know if you mentioned about the Q&A section. If you guys have
I did
questions
not.
along the way, there's a Q&A button that you can tap on and put your questions there. We are more than happy. We're super interested in your questions and making sure that we get them answered. And that will help us just kind of be able to speak to this topic more as well. We want to make sure that we are covering really what we want to cover with you guys and that you can walk away with a better understanding of what our passion is and
Sure.
what we're thinking here. So questions go in the Q&A. I think it's up in the top left corner of your screen. But use the chat too. Say hi to people, interact. Make sure that you have it where it says to, that it's set to all panelists and attendees. If it's just panelists, it just goes to Ryan and I. So it's great to kind of have some community with everyone that's on the call as well. So that's just a little housekeeping. If you're having issues with your connection and it seems kind of slow or whatever, turn off all your other Wi-Fi stuff. I tend to have that issue. So.
Yep. Awesome. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Let me go to the slides here. You should be able to see that on your screen now. But guys, this is the master plan of influence. Like she said, this has been something we've been working on for a long time, and it's kind of gotten up until now been on the back burner, but we're excited to bring it to the forefront because of all the other things we've been working on. But this is just something, again, like she said, that's been on our heart for a while and that we are truly excited about. So this is the master plan of influence. So before we dig in, who are we and why does that even matter? Basically, I mean, I'm sure if you're on here, you know who we are by now, but we met back in the second CES conference in Dallas. Worked with John Bullard Sr. on another project. And then I got to know Jenny really well, and I thought what she's doing in her Facebook groups that she had at the time would be a really good fit. So I asked her, could I take my private label book that I written, Private Label the Easy Way? Could we turn that into some kind of a program or whatever? So I didn't really know what to call it, but could that go into like a mentoring program, like
Of course.
with the
Yeah.
wholesale? We did the same thing with wholesale. So I said, could we do the same thing with my private label book? She was like, yeah, I don't see why not. So we partnered together in April of 2015, launched the private label mentoring program. I know a lot of you were probably in that. Guys, that's been a blast. We love that group. And so we actually sat down. It was October of 2016? That's right? We were in Seattle.
Last year. Yep.
And so we always, guys, get to know people, go to conferences,
Yep.
work with people, because that's how all this happened. We think it's a God thing too. But of course, we sat down and we were in the lobby of the hotel, just thinking about some of the things we had done, trying to actually think of another idea. We're always throwing out ideas. Some fall to the wayside. Some get right up to the top. And this is one we thought, oh my gosh, we could teach this. So essentially we were thinking, we took the book that we had, and we'll get into this here in a minute, but the master plan of influence idea was born in a hotel lobby, and I think in Redmond, Washington.
On a really tiny notebook.
It was a little tiny notebook, yeah.
Tiny notebook.
And all it was, we were just thinking the process that we went through for the private label mentoring program, which we'll talk about here in the whole MASTER acronym. We'll go through each of those, but the whole thing could be taught to other folks, and that whole process, the whole plan, everything we used to do that course could translate to all other types of niches and content. So whether you're an Amazon seller or you're a pastor that has written a book, or you've written a book on any subject, or you have any subject on your heart that you think, man, I would really love to teach this to somebody. I'd like to write a book about it. this content will help. And so you'll understand here in a minute what we're talking about.
But I wanted to just mention, we combined what we probably have 20 years of experience on teaching in one way or another, teaching these types of concepts. And in one way or another, what happened last year was everything kind of came together and organized itself in a way. When we kind of went backwards and we looked at how this process had developed with the private label, and we documented it. And when we did that and we saw it on paper, like every step of the way, it was like, oh my gosh, this is a blueprint. And that is what we want to share with you guys, because we started plugging in other ideas that weren't even related to Amazon, and everything could walk through this blueprint. And we found, as we started sharing it with other people who were totally not business people, completely not related to kind of our world with Amazon and online sellers, and all of a sudden these light bulbs came on and they were like, oh my gosh, I could use this for this, or I could do this, or I could do that. And so we knew, and we know that this blueprint is super powerful, and we're very excited to share that with you.
Yep. Super excited. So as you know, I'm Ryan Rieger, got Jenny Hunt here. Been working together since April 2015. I've been selling online since 2008. She's been doing this a little longer than me, and she can talk about her background. I don't know if we want to get into that or not. They're ready for the content, right?
Yeah, let's go to the content. We can answer if you guys have questions about our background a little bit more and whatever. I don't know. We don't
most of the folks here know who we are.
So excited to
so
share.
Guys, influence. I think you posted this in on your page, right? On your Facebook page.
I did. Yeah, I was trying to define influence and what it's such a powerful word. And so I posted in my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, I just asked, how would you define influence? And I loved Jim Cockrum's response to that. And I asked him if we could use it with our book. But yeah, he said, influence is one of the most powerful privileges that we're granted in our relationships. And it really is something that we are given by the people that we are able to influence. And I just think that's super, super powerful. Love this quote.
And so what we're going to teach you is learn how to amplify your influence in a way that inspires natural growth with what we call the master plan. Mm-hmm. So I was, before you got on, Jenny, I was just trying to, very briefly, I was just saying, hey, I know a lot of you guys are Amazon sellers. And so you're used to hearing us talk about private label or wholesale or whatever Amazon subject is. And Jenny's doing a lot with CreateSpace and bundling. And so that's how you kind of know us. But I know, guys, you're not just a one-track Amazon person. There's other things you're interested in. There's things that you're passionate about besides selling online. Heck, you might not even be passionate about selling online. That's just a way to make extra income. Yeah. That's totally fine. There may be this other thing out there that like, golly, I really want to do this, but I have no idea how to make money with that thing. You see the whole Amazon thing, that works. That's a way to get cash, which is awesome. But there may be this one thing that's been nagging you and you're like, I want to do that. How do I do that? And so this is how to know that this is for you. This is like, how to know if you'll know if you're a redneck, if this, on that Jeff Foxworthy thing. So this is how to know if the master plan of influence is even for you. So number one, do you desire to engage with people around a topic or a passion of yours? So think about a topic that you get excited that you can't quit talking about. If that's you, if you have a topic like that, then this could be for you. Do you have a book inside you? Something you're like, man, I know I need to write a book about this, but you just never find time, or you don't know how to do it. You think it sounds really hard, which it's really not. We're happy to help you without all of that stuff. But you're not sure where to start. Maybe you're already a mentor or a coach, and you just wanting to expand your reach. I work with I'm in Dan Miller's 48 Days Coaching Mastery Program. And there's a lot of coaches in there. And they basically just the main thing that they're monetizing is the actual coaching. They don't have a book. They don't have a course. And that's okay. I mean, there's always ways to expand. And so are you in that position maybe? Or just number 4, are you ready to earn streams of income from something that you're really good at, from your expertise, from something that you're knowledgeable about? And so as we go through here, it may sound like we're actually trying to push you away, and in a way we are. We want you to be here because this is for you. And so this is not going to be for every single person that's on here tonight, and it's okay if you decide that it's not for you. If you are, then we would love to have you join us.
I just want to jump in. I also wanted to say, like, maybe you have a desire to engage with people, but you're not sure what your passion is to do that, how you would do that. Like maybe you're passionate about things, but nothing's really standing out to you,
Sure.
or you're not really sure what that topic is, or, you don't feel like you're an expert in anything. I want to make sure that you understand this is, you are welcome to be here, because that's something we love to help people explore. And I think we're pretty good at it. And so if you don't know what the passion or the topic or your expertise or what this would be built around, we can help you explore that. So don't let that hold you back.
Very good. Thank you for saying that, because I remember reading Jim Cockrum's book, Silent Sales Machine, a long time ago, and thinking about the model of making money on something that you know about. Like, why would anybody ever pay me? It wasn't that, I wasn't thinking that way. For me, it was more about, I don't think I know anything that people would pay me.
Valuable.
And I just didn't have the confidence. I didn't know what the topic was. I knew it would be really cool someday to have a course and have a book, but I honestly had just a few years ago, had no clue what that would be. And so things started happening with the Real Wholesale Sources book. And of course, then the Private Label, the Easy Way, and doors just started opening. But guys, it's like, I'm so glad you said that, because it's okay if you have no clue what topic it is for you, because I guarantee if you were on the phone with us or on a Zoom call like this, doing Zoom meeting, we could explore and probably have 10 really good ideas for you that you could explore. So it's no big deal if right now you're like, I want to do this, but I don't know what topic is mine. So what is your message? Maybe you don't know what that is, and that's okay. But if you do, what's stirring in your mind? What problem are you wanting to solve? What need can you meet? So if you know those things, you're kind of you're one step ahead. And again, if you don't, no problem. We're happy to help you. So the master plan of influence model works best if there is a lesson to teach, if there's a need for training, or if there's a problem that needs coaching through. There's probably, we imagine, I mean, you might be thinking, oh man, I really am excited about this, but I have no idea how to monetize that. I bet there's a way that we can help you figure that out. And as we go through these steps, not every single type of content works for every single one of these. And that's okay. You don't have to do all of them. We've done all of them because it works for the content that we have.
Right.
But maybe you're in something that just doesn't make sense for a coaching program, or doesn't make sense for a recurring revenue stream, or whatever. You'll see what I mean. So here it is. This is the master plan. This is the flow chart. You want to talk about this since you put this together? This is really cool, guys.
Sure. And we'll dig into each of these pieces throughout this presentation. So I'm not going to go too deep into the actual acronym, but this is actually what we ended up writing out. These are not necessarily the steps. Actually, it is kind of the steps we took. These are all the pieces to the private label program right now. And we're going to be using that as an example because it does use all of these pieces. But basically what this is you can start, these are all it's almost modular, like the M is meet a need. Okay. So the first thing, what we did, I'm not sure actually how to go deep in. I don't want to go deep into that.
We'll go deep into each one.
Okay. So the beginning, let me just say at the beginning with the meet a need piece, that M piece, I'm just going to tell you, that was like Ryan's book. Okay. And what that is it's like a lead generator. It's something that's free that you're meeting a need with people. And as you work your way through this and get down to the R or the E, the cost of that service is more because you're offering more hand-holding to your customer base or your audience. So initially you might have a free audience that you're working with and building, and that would be less hand-holding, but there's ways to, that we'll go over here, that you will end up building to a place where you're doing more hand-holding, more one-on-one, or even small group. And as you work through that, the cost of those services are more. I don't feel like I'm hitting this right. Do you have anything you want to add right now at this point?
Yeah. No, you're good. I mean, basically, guys, it's just showing you it goes from free to more expensive on the left, and less hand-holding up here, like an ebook. You're not going to be really dealing with the customers in any way with an ebook unless they send you an email. But down here, where there's a lot more hand-holding, you're going to be in much closer contact with those customers. But again, your revenue is a lot greater to pay for your time.
This will make more sense as we work through it, but we need to get you guys seeing this piece first. So,
and also, guys, this is all free. you're know anything about internet marketing funnels, this is basically a funnel. So
Right.
I mean, we could have drawn a funnel like the triangle, upside down triangle. And so that's all this is. And if this all looks in really just like overwhelming at the beginning, and you may not even know what your topic is, don't even worry about all this. Just like the first thing I would do if you were going to do something with this content would be, would meet the need. Think about what a book, an ebook, a webinar, a podcast you could do. For me, the easiest to think about is an ebook. Don't even worry about all these. When I wrote Private Label the Easy Way, these were not even close to being on my mind. So it's okay if you don't look at this and be like, oh my gosh, I can't do all of these. Well,
right.
I never set out to do all these either. It kind of just happened.
And that's kind of the beauty of this though, because we already know people who have like one of these pieces and they now can see a bigger picture and they can figure out, they can kind of map it out. Okay. So this would be like a big map that maybe is written in pencil, like your little skeleton. And then you're coming in with ink with the pieces that you maybe are starting with, or, you don't have to go in this order. But let's go ahead and start explaining a little bit deeper, and it'll make more sense as we get further in. And again, guys, if you have questions, put it in the Q&A, because we'd like to, I don't even see the Q&A anymore on my, there it is. All right.
So here it is, guys. This is master. So Jenny said, kind of started going over these. So M is basically meet a need. A is where you add value. And we're just going to brush over this right now because we're going to dig into each one of these individually. A is add value. S is the social community piece. T is where you bring in a team, or you have a team. E is end-to-end services, and R is recurring revenue. So it's something that you're getting over and over and over again. Anything else about that?
Nope.
Cool. All right. You want to do meet a need?
Sure.
All right.
Okay. So meet a need. So this can look in any way whatever works for you. So it kind of becomes your business card. Excuse me. And it is it is a lead generator for you. It's way better than a business card to be able to hand somebody a book, right? So it could be a book, though. It doesn't have to be. It could be a free webinar. It could be a podcast. It could be just a short video. It could be not even a book, but just a short report or a checklist. There's so many things that it could be. It's basically what you want to do. Can you go to the next slide? Is you're including some sort of message. You're meeting some sort of need. Okay. You want to ask, what need does this meet? But then you're also, what you want it to be is valuable, but incomplete. And what we did was, again, this is Ryan's book, Private Label the Easy Way. And we realized the need was that people needed a simpler, less expensive way to source physical products for private label. And so we met this need, Ryan met this need through simple strategies that he taught in this book. Okay. And it was like a skeleton. Okay. So the key is, I already said this, the key for the M for meeting the need is to provide valuable but incomplete information to help meet a need with a certain audience. So Ryan and I were going over these slides and he said, do you think my book was incomplete? And I think his book was complete as far as the whole process, but it was like the skeleton. And so as we got further down, we added to that skeleton. So there's value there because some people could take that and run with it. Other people needed a little bit more hand holding, right? Sure. And so this is like the basic that anybody could take something and run with it. Or it could also be, maybe you see a problem and you have a solution. Yeah. So really what you want to do is maybe other people don't understand the problem that they have. So your meet a need might be just simply to educate them with the problem that they have. And then guess what? You have a solution. So you're giving them valuable information by educating them, but it is incomplete because they might go, gosh, that would be really hard for me to solve. I get that. But you have a simple solution that you're going to offer. And that kind of is more complete than just the M piece. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And also, guys, this could be free. I think when my book first launched, I think it might have been $17 or $27. So it's either free or probably a very low price point. Because you're getting people into your funnel. It's a lead generator. You're not going to launch a book for $5,000 and get a lot of people to sign up for that. So it's something cheap or free to meet a need, and also in exchange get their contact information essentially.
Right. And it's also, if you remember on that, the first graphic there where it had, more on the top, it's less access to you and more access to you. So the Meet a Need really is no access to you. It's
Right.
read my book. That's as much access to me as you get. Okay.
Right.
And so that's why it can be free.
Yep. All right. So A, add value. I'll do this and I guess we can just go back and forth.
Sure.
All right. So guys, A, add value. And this is what we did here was, well, I'll show you here in a second. That's what we put meat on the bones. So this is when I talked to Jenny and said, could we make my book into a course? So it actually just completes the piece that where the M didn't go too deep. My book didn't go too deep. We added value by adding lessons. So we took every chapter of my book and broke it up into lessons with assignments. And at the end of there's actual picture of those lessons or PDF lessons. And so that's the piece that like I maybe could have done on my own, but guys, Jenny and I have discussed this before, thinking back about the private label mentoring group. Could that have been something I would have done on my own? Yes, but I would not have. I would not have had the confidence to move forward. She was the master of Facebook groups because she had all those private niche groups for Facebook. So she knew how to run a Facebook group. She had put together lessons before. All this seemed daunting to me. So I was the one that had the content, but she organized it in a way that just made sense, that was in bite-sized chunks with assignments. And then we added a webinar training series where we went through each of these lessons in a webinar live, and we had people on there asking questions. And so that's how we did it in our group. Now, that doesn't mean that's how everybody has to do it, but it could go from, it's just whatever is the next step. And usually it goes from a book maybe to a course. It could be video course. It could be PDFs. It could be all the above. But that's how we added value to ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could. That's one thing that I think is missing actually out of these slides is just that it doesn't have to be just a PDF or a webinar like we did. It could be other things as well. Even a paid podcast of some sort.
Oh, sure.
Okay. S is the social community. So just real quick, we had the M was Meet a Need, and that was a book that was written. It was kind of the skeleton, the framework. Then we did the A, we added value by, for us, it was creating lessons for each chapter of that book that kind of dug deeper, put meat on those bones. And we also did a webinar series on the same content. That webinar training was the same content as in the lessons. It was just provided in a different manner for our audience because we know some people learn differently. So the S in our acronym MASTER is social community. And the S, it's the component that allows you to grow your audience by leaps and bounds. And you're also improving and gaining more engagement with your audience. And this blew us out of the water. I had done Facebook groups before. I started doing Facebook groups when groups were just kind of starting to, I don't even think they were really much of a thing on Facebook. It was a few years ago. And I think it was the first year of CES. I don't know, 5 years ago, I guess. So I started the private niche groups and learned a lot about how to engage with an audience within the group. And they were hot. It was so much fun getting to know people on a different level. So we brought that piece in because we knew people were going to have questions and we wanted to be able to engage with them. And so I think that kind of a platform can add value, incredible value. So this piece, we call it this, we have the lessons, but that does not include the mentoring for the private label mentoring program. The mentoring actually happens in this community. Mm-hmm. Now, there are some weird things with Facebook that there's a little bit of a dance you need to do. You have to people cannot be paying to be a part of a group. So what we do is we actually offer in the community, not just questions to answers and our involvement there and the involvement of other experts. We also are always adding new content, which is super easy to do because we're engaged with our audience. We see where their needs are. And so we're able to go, you know what, they could really use a checklist for this. Let's just make a quick checklist and we'll throw that in there. And so we're able to see what the problems are and really help people get over obstacles because of the social community. And they're super appreciative of it. And so, and now what's really cool is we've had this group, our community, growing for 2.5 years, right? So people who have gone through the program now, they're jumping in and helping people. So the group is all not just engaging with us, they're engaging with each other. And I don't think you can put much of a dollar amount value on that. It's huge, absolutely huge. It's the next thing below, I think, having some sort of live event and interacting face-to-face with people. So it doesn't have to be Facebook. You can do that, provide the social aspect to your funnel, I guess, through a WhatsApp group or with Google Hangouts. So any sort of social piece where you can kind of have an enclosed group would provide the same sort of community feel to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So did I cover this? Yeah. Okay. So you can bring in a team of mentors. The members, what we did was we engaged with them by asking them to do the assignments in the PDFs and post their answers in there so that there was some interaction. It provided accountability as well for people. So something, we all get courses or books. I'm sure if I had you all raise your hand and I could actually see you guys, that how many of you have something on your virtual bookshelf that you've never really read, or you have read but you haven't taken action on? So we're trying to, another way that this brings value in is by providing accountability for people to actually take action on something they want to take action on. Otherwise they wouldn't have bought the course in the first place.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, let's see here. So again, yeah, this is what we did with the private label. We did a Facebook group. We haven't done anything really with WhatsApp. We've done some stuff with Zoom, but we'll hit that a little bit later. So our main social component is Facebook, and I highly recommend it. Just know Facebook could pull that out from under you at any time. So make sure that you have other value add and other ways to contact.
Make sure you're growing an email. If you have it in the list of those folks that are in there, that you could always move that community elsewhere.
And the other thing that's super cool is now people who are in there, they have access to not just Ryan and I, they have access to people all over the world. And so people who are in the UK who are selling, who have questions, they have access to other people who are in the UK who have questions. We brought in, like I said, other experts to help answer questions as well. It's a great place for brainstorming. And there's so many other examples. Maybe at the end we can go through this again and we can show you some examples of some ideas, like with using Adventure Dads or something like that as an example, Ryan. We didn't really talk about that, but just so you can see how this could be used for something other than private label.
Right.
We just are using that as an example because it's been super successful for us and we have all the pieces there. So remember, the more access though to you, it translates to more value. So in a social community, they're having more access to you, which means the value goes up and so does the cost of the service. So you can charge more for that. Okay.
Yep. It costs more as you go. The next one, T is team. All right. So a team is social on a smaller, more trusted scale. And so like, obviously we have the community, which is in Facebook. But then there's right now, Jenny, it's crazy. We have 1,913, or I think it's like 1918, the last time that I checked in that group. And so the guys, that's a lot of people in that group. And so there's still folks, and as you guys know, you may be in that group, there's folks that need maybe additional help. And so there's other things that we do. We did these rabbit trail calls. And so that's a much smaller group. We've done mastermind groups. We've done live events. We use Zoom. Now, this is just an example of different things that you could do. I'm sure that we could add many more different ideas for you for how you could engage with people on a smaller scale. So Zoom is what we're using right now. This is basically webinar software and meeting software. So you could meet face-to-face with people. So if you were a coach, you could do coaching calls through Zoom or through Skype. A lot of people do that. You can have a small mastermind group ran around with Zoom as your software. You could do live events on Zoom where you have people that pay to join you and talk about whatever your topic is. So again, think outside of Amazon here. It can be any topic whatsoever could fit this model here. Of course, group coaching, that's what we have in the mentoring program. So here's what we did with Private Label the Easy Way. We have the small group masterminds that we've done before, which we had a group of 8 people. And we used Zoom, and it was the Zoom meetings where we could see everybody's video. And we charged a lot higher price point on that because we did 6 weekly calls with Jenny and I. They were an hour and a half long. Each person had 15 to 20 minutes to talk about their business and and then all of us interjected on how we could help them get to their next level. So we did the small group things, and we use Zoom for that. Live events. Now, most of that has been done like actual live. We just did the one at Brett's office in Yorba Linda, California, a couple weekends ago. But you could, and we live streamed that. And so that was through Facebook. So you could live stream events that you could have. So let's say that you had a small group of people come to your house. Like I had Tim's on here, and he came to my house back in October of 2016. And we had like 7 people show up. But that's an event I could have maybe live streamed that and had maybe 20 or 30 more people watching that event from their home. And so you could do that around any topic, and you could be have a hotel conference room and have a small group of people or a large group of people, even like CES was live streamed. So think about that. And that works for no matter what kind of content it is. So we've used Zoom, Facebook, of course, live events, and the masterminds. And again, remember, this is a high level price point. This is something where they get more access to you, so it costs more. Your time is super, super valuable. It includes a deeper level of training. So it's just essentially just more hand holding, and they get more close one-on-one access to you. And so obviously that means a higher price point to you, more money for you.
This is my favorite.
This so, your favorite one? All right. Cause you get the slide that you put in there.
I do. The E, okay, wait. I want to back up just a minute. Go back to that one. Okay, so not that far. Where are you going? Go to that one right there. Okay, I didn't know how to describe it. So I just wanted to say I'm afraid we're overwhelming, and I don't want to overwhelm anyone. And one thing that we are really good at helping people work through is understanding the kind of content they have. So that kind of goes alongside of figuring out what it is your expertise might be, or what you might be passionate about, what you might want to build something around, what topic. But the other part of that is if you're using the live streaming as an example, or even just recording a webinar, that piece is content. You might use it on the front end you might have a small group, let's say, and you go through some brainstorming or some training together as a small group in a little maybe it's 3 calls that you do together. And it's just like this, only you're just seeing each other, or maybe there's some slides, I don't know, but you're getting together and you're just talking, brainstorming, and you record that. That is content now. So not only can you charge for that time together, but then you can take that and sell that recording as long as you have everybody's permission and they all know what you're doing ahead of time. But that is all content that you have now developed, and that can be sold separately, differently. That could become one of the other, it could become the add value piece. So these don't all have to be totally separate things. They're very interlocked, and there's a lot of overlap between them. And this is super fluid in, it changes regularly, and it can change, and it can totally change to what your vision is and what your passion is. And like Ryan said, you don't have to do it all at one time. It's piece by piece, and they just fit perfect. It's just having this overall picture of kind of where you could go with it can help with the planning and help you understand what's doable. And help you understand how you're going to get from, okay, I wrote a book, what's next? Now you have all these options of what you can do with that. Okay.
You wouldn't necessarily have to go from one to the next one, right? I mean, it's like our inventory pyramid with Amazon stuff. People start maybe working around finding items around their home and sending it into Amazon. It doesn't mean you have to go next to thrift stores, assignment. You could jump right up to retail arbitrage and then right up to private label.
Or we have people starting right at private label.
And go right from writing a book to having a coaching program.
Right. Exactly. And thanks, guys. There's some people they're in the chat. You're just writing to Ryan and I don't know if you realize that, but just that you're not overwhelmed. I appreciate that feedback. So the E is end-to-end services. And this is, I wanted to call the E the whole enchilada, because everything is done for you. Okay. So with our program, we don't quite do everything. We do as much as we can. And I'll give that as an example in a minute. But we have people who are starting with this, where they are working with other people, and they have done the whole thing. They just walk them through. They just do it for them. Okay, the service, whatever it is, instead of training. So it's fishing for them, right? And then giving the fish to the people instead of teaching people how to fish. That's the whole enchilada. I know, enchilada. We love enchiladas in our house. So.
There's only one though. You need more than that to feed your family.
That's a pretty big, maybe not, but it looks like a big enchilada. All right. So our example, what we've done with the private label program is we created private label in a box. And what that is it's research that's done for you. It's not the whole program. It's not the whole, we will do all of the testing and sourcing and all of that for you. But it is up to a certain point. Mm-hmm. And this was a hard one for us. We had to brainstorm quite a bit because we knew if we were going to research and get a product to a point where it was ready to really be a successful private label, why would we give that to someone else? That was kind of where we were. It was like, we've done all that work. We're going to want to do that. And so how can we help people the most and give them as many shortcuts as we can? And this is how we've done it, is with by providing product leads and supplier leads and some research through our private label in a box program.
Yep.
So that's a good example, I guess, of it doesn't have to look like what end-to-end services might look like for somebody else,
right?
Where it's totally done for you.
Would you say that this one would be the one out of all of them that may not apply to every single type of content?
Yes, I would well, this one and the recurring, the next one. Okay. I think these next two might not necessarily, well, all of them to some point, they might not apply to your content, or you might not see how it applies. But keep your eyes open, because we didn't think that we would ever find a recurring or something like this that was a service. And we kept revisiting it over and over, and we realized we saw the need, and that kind of helped us fill that. And we realized, oh, this is what we have here, and it really is the E, and it really does fit the R. So, so not everything applies to the content from the get-go. I would think, I bet you we could find a way for everything, somehow fit in, but that doesn't mean it's the right thing for you. So, sure. So I don't know. All right. So, remember again, your end-to-end services, it's not coaching. It's not teaching them how to fish. It is doing it for the customer. Okay. There's no training involved. So, that's super important. And remember then that is like super expensive, because it's not just access to you, it's access to you doing it. Right. And so that would be, we don't charge a whole lot, I don't think, for private label in a box, but there's a reason for that. Ultimately, if you're doing the whole thing for the customer, your price point can be super high and you can justify that.
Yep. So I would think one-on-one coaching, guys, if a lot of you may know, that would work for almost any type of content. That's back on the team, for the T for team. But yeah, think about if you're building websites for people, you could have a book that teaches you how to build a website. You could have a course that teaches you how to build a website. You could have a social community where you're teaching them HTML or Optimized Press or whatever WordPress platform. You could have one-on-one coaching. End-to-end services would be, I'm building the website for you.
Right.
Okay. Cool. The last one, recurring revenue. This is when it gets really, really fun. And again, when we started I wrote my book, guys, ASTER were not even on my radar. I didn't even know what M was. I just knew that I was meeting a need. A master plan of influence was not on my radar screen whatsoever. We needed help with private label. I found a really cool way to source products cheap and easy without sourcing from China. And so I was meeting a need. I wrote a book. That's it. As far as I was concerned, that was all it would ever be. Was just an ebook. And then it just grew from there. And so I know a lot of you may not be overwhelmed, but some of you might be like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do all these? Well, you don't have to do all these, and you don't even have to think about all of these right now. Just what makes the most sense for your content, and dig in and do one. But the R is recurring. It's what you're getting month after month or year after year or whatever it is. It's just, think of getting paid over and over again for doing the work once. Often it could be like a membership site or a subscription. So if it's a membership site, you're constantly providing content. It's not like you're just going to throw up content once and people are going to constantly pay you for that one piece of content. There's work, continual work, but it's just where they're just paying you over and over again, essentially. So what do they want month after month or quarter after quarter? It could be data. It could be information. It could be more training. It could be something that's seasonal. So guys, there are just so many options. For us, again, it's the same product that was in the E for us, which is private label in the box. That's a monthly fee for that. where the research is done for them. We have product leads and suppliers. And so that's our recurring revenue model. There's
So
probably
did you,
others we could do for private label, but this is the one that seemed to fit the best for us, and it's working well for us. So the only thing for us is we because it's private label, we have people that are like, we wonder like how long are they going to stick around, because it's they find a private label product and are they going to constantly be in there all the time, because private label is not like retail arbitrage. But we're always adding new things to it, always thinking of ways to make it better, to encourage people to stick around. But so this is the fun one for us too.
Yeah. And did you notice there's overlap there? Like we don't have, this is the same as the E for us, and that made sense and makes sense for our content. So I hopefully that helps you think, just seeing it done like that. You can see that you don't have to have something separate for each piece. There's a lot of overlap, and you might even have something that, I don't know how many of you guys are in the group and know what we're doing, like with these rabbit trail calls. The rabbit trail calls that we're doing is a group of 50 people get on a call with us, and they look over our shoulder while we're training. We're teaching them how to search for a product. And so they're learning, and then they end up with the list that we come up with. So we're teaching them how to fish, and we're giving them fish. But that, I think, would fall underneath a T, where there's a bit of a team. Is that right? So, but in a way, it's almost recurring because it's limited. We're able to do one over and over and over again. Right. Now, it's not that people are set up on a subscription basis. Yeah. With that, and they could be. It could be. That's true. Could be. Huh? That might be.
There's our idea right there.
I don't know. So, but my point is there can be some overlap. We just don't want to be so rigid with this. I want to really make sure we're communicating that this is a tool for you to organize your content, and it will look different than how we've done it with our various things, but hopefully it'll help inspire you to what's possible and to the bigger picture.
Yep. So guys, this is just a visual picture of everything that we did. We started with the book, that was the Meet a Need. With the lessons, we added value. We did the webinar training series, we added value. The social community part was our Facebook group. We added the team when we did like these live events, the mastermind groups, VIP days, which are virtual conferences that you could do, live streaming, live events. We use Zoom for all of this. The end-to-end and the recurring are our private label in the box product. So this would look completely different for whatever content you have.
Yeah.
But this is just what has worked for us. And just want to emphasize once and again that when I wrote this book, none of this was on my mind at all. And it wasn't until I was on a phone call with Jenny and John Bullard, and I thought, man, we could do the same thing. We could take my book and make it into lessons. That's all it was. And then we thought, let's make it into a group where people can interact with each other and call it a mentoring program. And then we had webinars. And then from there, guys, it just happened. And once you have a social community, people will tell you what they want.
Yep.
And so you're not going to be like trying to guess, right. Should I do this or should I not do this? They'll let you know. They'll let you know by not buying it if it's not a good idea. Or and obviously you'll figure out really quickly that you didn't meet that need for them. But that's what's so cool about the internet is that you can try stuff. Like you can do a webinar, and if you have nobody show up, well, obviously that wasn't something that people were interested in. Jim talks about failing often and failing fast, and you can totally do that with all of this. You can write an ebook. And so what if you only sell 5 copies? You did it. You figure out that, well, that wasn't the topic that I was supposed to write about. So, this is so, and then you get to meet somebody like Jenny and you partner up with them, and it's so really cool, really neat things happen. And so it's just been a pleasure. So this is it. This is the master plan of influence. This is the flow chart again. Now you can see all of them. Again, it goes from free or very cheap up here to way more expensive down here. A lot less hand holding or absolutely no contact with the customer down here, all the way down to, you may be on calls with them or constant, coaching calls or whatever. Just as you go down here, it's more access to you, which means more money for you. So guys, this system works. We've done it over and over in our businesses. And we are excited to share this with you. Our idea is to have a master plan of influence mentoring program. And so we're taking the model that we did for private label the easy way. And we don't have a book necessarily. It's a very short book. It's not like I think Private Label the Easy Way is 90 pages. Our Master Plan of Influence book is a lot shorter than that, but that gives you an idea. It doesn't have to be 150 million pages.
Right.
Just a short report. And right now it's just an ebook. Will we make it into a Crates Facebook? Yeah, probably at some point we will. But right now it's just an ebook. We're meeting a need. We're doing this webinar to see if people are interested.
It's super short, actually, Ryan. It's only 10 pages.
It's only 10 pages.
Yeah,
cool.
It's super, super short.
Nice.
So
yeah. So we want to do a Master Plan of Influence mentoring program to walk people through this and help you develop your own content using the model that we have done. And so here's what we're going to do. It's so we love the webinar training sessions model where we went through the lessons for Private Label the Easy Way. We're going to do this exact same thing for this type of content. We'll go over each of these. We'll go over the M, the A, the S, the T, the E, and the R. And that's 6. And we're going to do it live, and you can be on with us, ask questions. Of course, these will all be recorded. So if you can't make it live, you will always have access to it.
You know what I didn't put on this slide was, I think the first one, we already have it scheduled, right? Isn't it November 3rd?
Uh-oh.
Like,
I don't know. Maybe I need to check my calendar.
We do. I'm going to look at my calendar right now.
November 13th?
Yes.
Let me look here. Let's see.
We might need to reschedule.
It is. It's on my calendar.
It's on mine too, but something else just came up, but this is priority. Yeah. So we do have this scheduled. You know, part of the thing is we've been talking about this for a year. For a year, we've been talking about it and planning it and refining it. And that's partly why we're so excited, is because we've been working on it for so long. But we know that it keeps getting put on the back burner because other things have kind of we've had to make more of a priority. And we're so excited to be able to bring this to the forefront and share this with people, because seriously, whenever we share this with people, they're like, I'm in. I want to know what's going on. I want to do this. And we already have people in a group. And so we're super excited to expand that a little bit and actually really dig in to the content more. So we had to put dates on the calendar. That's why we did, because other things, we're just really busy right now. And so November 13th, we're planning to dig in with the M in the group. So I forgot to put that on the slide. Just
no, it's cool. I'm glad you reminded me about that. So, and we're going to do a private mentoring community. So it's going to be on Facebook again. Everybody's on Facebook already anyway. So we have a new Facebook group, Master Plan of Influence Mentoring Program, and you can interact with Jenny and myself. We already have a group of experts in there already that we're excited about being in there to help us out and provide extra insight and in content for us. Of course, there's going to be additional advanced training. There'll be new stuff that we'll come out with, new webinars, new whatever. There'll be all kinds of new stuff that we'll do in there.
Wherever we see a need, we'll work on a way to help meet that need. So
we love doing webinars, so it'll probably be a lot of webinar content and just new things that we see. This is something we're really cool about this right here. We're excited about opportunities for partnership. So can we talk about what Jason did with the guy in October from the tag group that we had?
I suppose.
Yeah, I bet it's okay. So guys, we had a conference, just a mini conference, a day, 2 days or day and a half.
Day and a half, yeah.
At
years ago.
in Portland, and Jason Miles came down from Seattle, and another gentleman was there, and he had an idea, not related to Amazon. It was in the tin toy truck niche. And so he knew he could create a following based on this, but just didn't know where to start. Jason Miles partnered with him, and they're doing, I don't even know honestly what they're doing, but they partnered together, and Jason is helping him build out that course or whatever.
Basically do this, I think. And
with him. Yeah. And so the idea for this, guys, is that I know there's going to be some of you that are like, man, I have the content, but I have no idea where to start. Maybe you go through the mentoring program, you go through this training sessions, you're like, I can't do this, don't have time to do this, don't want to do this or whatever, but I'm happy to give you my content. Jenny and I would partner with potential folks and help you create that content. We love coming alongside people. We've done it with Christy, we've done it with Abe, and doing webinars or lessons, whatever type of content works for whatever type of medium, whether it's a PDF lessons or webinars, if it's a course, if it's a coaching program, whatever. Essentially, we come alongside you and help you develop that and partner and split the profits. So and that would be kind of a case by case thing as we see people that are doing some really cool things and we feel like we could actually help. That's why we might step in and help you out and partner with you on that project. So we think that's super cool. So that's what that is. So this is the MPI mentoring program. If you are familiar with the private label mentoring program, you know that it morphed from just lessons, PDF lessons, to all the content that's in there now and live events. Who knows where this will go? But at the very least, this is what we know we can offer and will offer. But guys, this is something we've been talking about for a long time. This is something we're really excited about. So because of that, we're going to want to put some effort behind it and make it even better than what's just on here. But this is what we know we can do. So obviously the value is through the roof. We could easily charge $3,000. Tonight it's only $2,500. No.
I talked him down. I said, Ryan, no, we want people. We want to get the word out on this. We want people to this. We love this, and we love hearing. I mean, it's like even last year we were up in at Northwest University at a conference with Jason Miles and some people on his team, and we met a woman there, and she's like, I don't know, this is what I do. She made jewelry, and she was kind of super tight in her niche with jewelry. And we were like, she started telling us about what she did. And we're like, are you kidding me? Like, that is so cool. You need to write a book. I mean, and she was like, really? I don't know. We're like, yes. And we just love this. We love hearing what people are passionate about and helping them do something with it, because it's not only is it fulfilling for you. Personally, I think God just puts things on our hearts to share and to encourage other people. And this is on our heart. And I'd love to hear what's on your heart, and what message you feel like you just really need to get out there, or how you really want to teach people about something, or something that's important to you. So this is so exciting, and we didn't want to make the price at a place where it was a bit unreachable. It's a hard. Sometimes pricing things is a little difficult because we want you. You got to have skin in the game. I mean, otherwise we could do this for free, but we know that having an investment on your end kind of holds you to that a little bit more. And so you got to have some skin in the game. So we know that. And also we know the lower the price, sometimes the perception seems like, oh, this isn't super valuable. But guys, we have done this. I've been doing this in some form or another. I've been developing courses since 2003. And this works. I'll just tell you, it works. It works. And it's super fun to partner with people. I've had more fun partnering with Ryan than I have had in a long time trying to do it solo. So there's times when I've partnered, it's always more fun to partner with someone. So this is a super, super good deal because of the content. And yet at the same time, we want to make sure that you are, that you're going to use the content. So we really don't want, if this isn't for you, we don't want you to just get it because you'll do whatever Ryan and Jenny say. That feels a little weird.
Right.
But that's important to us as well. So
I'm going to share the screen of the sales page just so you can see what is there. So Tim says, do we have a 3-month pay plan?
You can private message us if there's an issue there. I get it. You know what? I remember years ago thinking, when am I going to have when is the value of what I'm offering going to be one of the high ticket things? And $97 was high ticket for me at the time. I totally get it. We're all starting in different places and whatever. So if $97 is an issue for you, please contact us. Just contact us and tell us what your heart is. But this is not about the money for us. It is about helping people. And that's just super important. So we kind of laugh, but no, seriously.
Brent said it's way too expensive. So we're going to have to, well, thank you. But
I know you're kidding.
Okay, I'll put the live link in here. I know you're kidding, Tim. Okay. So it's masterplanofInfluence.com.
Put it in the chat.
I'll let you post it there. So guys, it's right here. If you do the click here, we were so focused on the slides that we were just didn't do all the sales page perfect. But you know us now. This stuff doesn't matter, especially at $97, right? So click here on. This is on the page. Also, you can download the ebook here. If you're not sure if this is for you, definitely download the the free short report, which is the ebook.
It basically explains what we.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It basically explains what we went through. But sometimes I work a little bit better reading something than I do watching some silly people.
Right. But also I want to say, guys, I know that a lot of you are Amazon sellers and we're in the thick of Q4. And so this is a charter price. We honestly have no clue. You know us, we're not just like, say it's $97 and it's never going to be that way again, but it really may not be. We don't know how long this is going to last. So if you feel like this is for you, go ahead and jump in, and don't feel like you have to take action right away. Because we know how busy it gets in Q4, and we could have waited till January to do this, but we didn't want to because we feel like we've been putting it off so long already anyway, and we wanted to get this out here. So if you feel like this is a fit, you'll know in your heart, go ahead and jump in and just take action whenever you can. So because we honestly don't know how long we'll keep it $97.
I know we're not going to keep it there. That's not the plan. But that's where we're starting it out. Yep. If there's I would like to, I want to see if you guys are interested in this. We're at 6:00. So, at Pacific time. So, Eastern time, we're at 6:00. No, I am thinking, I kind of want to go back to the flow chart sheet, the infographic kind of, slide, and walk through how something else could fit in those pieces. Is that something that interests you guys right now? Just to take like another 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know if there's any questions. I didn't see any in the Q&A. Now there's some. So if that's a yes, and you want me to do that, can you put it in the chat so I can just see real quick what it is that if you guys want, okay, please read it. Okay, good. There's enough people. I just needed a couple. Cool. So what I wanted to just share something, and this is a little bit more ministry related, but it doesn't have to be necessarily, but my husband has a heart for, he's helped at our church build a ministry called GQ, where it's rites of passages for young men, and it's for a program for 11 to 18 and up, mostly 18 boys. And they go and they have these rites of passages throughout those every year. And they've come up with these milestones, and they go out and they do like rock climbing, and they teach qualities of character. And it's just a really cool program. I've never participated in it, but I've heard so many great things. I've seen my oldest is almost all the way through it. My youngest is in it now. And it's just really, it's super cool actually. So he just has a heart for helping dads build relationship with their kids and to build legacy with it and use the outdoors to do so. Okay. So he's started this thing called Adventure Dads, where it provides, the goal of it is to provide resources for dads to be able to build relationship with their kids. So that he's kind of hasn't built this all out yet. Okay. But he has a book, and the book is a 10-day challenge for dads. And it's super, super simple. And in fact, when I read it, I was like, you could add this and this and this. And he's like, there is no man who would read the book if it was longer, but each challenge needs to be just quick to the point. And I'm like, all right, you need to ask another guy then, because I would be like adding all these examples. And so he has a short book, 10-day challenge, and it's just 10 challenges of things to do with your kid, like listen to their music. And he has like a paragraph for each one, or go out on a hike, or, whatever. So there's 10 challenges, and that's his meet a need. Okay. And then what I would recommend, I'm just going to use this as an example of how I would walk through his vision through all of these pieces. And he doesn't have them yet, but this is kind of just a vision. And maybe you can see how this could be used for something other than like private label, like we've done. So his meet a need is this piece of this book. Okay. It's super short. It's on Kindle. I'm not sure if he has a CreateSpace version yet. He's working on it. I know we have a proof lying around, but it is definitely on Kindle. The add value piece would be to take each of those challenges and go deeper with it. Put some meat on those bones. Maybe it becomes a 30-day challenge, or maybe it's not just go on a hike, but it's actually something a little bit more. And here's some things you can talk about while you're on the hike with your kids. If they're this age, maybe here's some questions just to kind of prompt maybe some conversation starters, or, I don't really know, but there's some way that he could add meat to that, right? And make it a little bit more. And it could be actually a 10-day challenge that's emailed out, something that is people are a little bit more skin in the game for. It's not a book, it could be, but maybe it's something where they're getting a challenge every week that's emailed to them and they have an assignment with it. Do this week with your kids, okay? It could be a video. Build a kite with your kids today, and here's how to build a kite, and people could subscribe to that. That would also be the recurring piece, but adding the value adds a little bit of meat to what he already has as a book. It could be something totally different, but that's kind of what I want to use for an example, the social piece. So if he had a community of other dads who are they're all like-minded and wanting to build relationships with their kids using the outdoors, then how cool would a community be where these dads are brainstorming, okay, I want to go out rock climbing. Any places that you guys would recommend taking an 11-year-old or a 7-year-old or whatever, rock climbing in the Pacific Northwest? And so you have this community now where people can brainstorm, and there's a whole lot of value there. But then maybe the dads are saying, I really want to, we're struggling with lying right now. And I want to know, like, what are some practical things that I can do where I'm not just lecturing my kid, but I can take them out somewhere and use experience and use the outdoors to really teach them why it's important to be truthful. So those are all, they might ask those questions in a social community, and there's people who have experience dealing with that further along down the journey. They have ideas, they've done this kind of thing and implemented this. They're experts. So they're there able to answer some of those questions, as well as the other rest of the community members chiming in. Okay. The T piece, he could actually then have a smaller group of guys that get together maybe for accountability, and they go onto a Zoom call, and they maybe they build a program that's kind of like what he's doing at our church with his GQ program. Maybe it's a group of 10 guys, 10 dads and their kids, and they're all kind of in the same age group, and they're walking through every milestone in these different rites of passages and celebrating and building a program kind of together. And my husband, James, he would be the one facilitating that and leading that, right? Well, and they have like these weekly calls. That could be a TE, and end to end, he could go somewhere to a community. Maybe you already have a group of dads together and you just kind of don't really know what to do. Maybe James comes to your place and he builds a curriculum with your church, or he helps build a program so that you have something of intention with this group that you're already involved in, but you're missing the content piece. And then the recurring could fit anywhere in there. It could be a newsletter that's recurring. I think I already touched on, maybe it's a video series of just activities that you can do or whatever. Yeah. So this is just real quick how you could take something that's kind of more ministry minded and fit it into each one of these. Now he doesn't think business like I do and marketing like I do, but when I explained this to him, I didn't even bring up Adventure Dads, and he's like, oh, Adventure Dads would totally fit into this. So it just opens up those doors to think a little bit differently. And I really hope that it's done that for some of you guys here too on the call. But anyway, just wanted to share that.
Thanks for doing that. Yeah, because Jenny, you've met with lots of folks that are in church and that see it for what they're doing. And so it doesn't have to be for Amazon content or selling physical products or anything like that. This works for anything. I think pretty much any type of content. There's not really been a piece of content we haven't thought about that we don't see how it fits into at least part of this. Yes, this webinar is being recorded, guys. Yep. You'll get an email tomorrow with the replay for it. So cool. Anything else?
Not that I can think of. I don't know. Do you guys have any other questions?
Jimmy says, what if you have no idea what to start with? I would say post in the Facebook group. Jimmy, I know you guys, so I'd be happy to get on a call with you and just kind of do some brainstorming. I already know what Brittany can do with the couponing course that she's wanting to do a webinar for the Legends group. That could fit in all of this. But I'm sure there's other things on your heart that you were interested in that could work with this. I love brainstorming stuff. So,
and you know what? What's cool about the Facebook community is it's a little different than like a retail arbitrage or a private label even. What you're passionate about and what you know is not likely the same thing that somebody else is passionate about and knows. The competition is a little bit different. So I'm hoping that people are more open and willing to share so that we can brainstorm. There are people already in this group, and I'm telling you, they're brilliant and they're creative minds. They think, so we are willing to brainstorm, but I think most people who get this and who are thinking outside of the box will be, sometimes it's easier to see potential in what somebody else can do. So I would encourage using that Facebook community to brainstorm. Let's brainstorm together. Maybe we should have like a brainstorming day or something, Ryan, where that's all we do like during that day. We love it. We love it. In fact, whenever Ryan and I, if I'm in Dallas or he's out here or we're in Orlando or wherever LA or wherever we end up being at a conference, we almost always, we make it a priority to have some time together where we can just brainstorm. And we don't know where that's going to go. That's what this came out of, was sitting down and brainstorming. So are there any other questions that we want to bring out?
Yes.
How many?
Definitely be looking at what people, so you could, I didn't have a chance to read everything, your comment there, but anything that people are interested in, what niche has the masses of people now? I mean, it could be around, you could even, my goodness, so you could even take something that you're not interested in. You know, Jim talks about
That's
like
true.
a book, and interviewing an expert. So you could have a heart for a certain topic, but not really feel like you're the expert for it. You interview somebody else, or you partner with, maybe you're the business idea person, and you partner with somebody who has the knowledge, and you guys do this together. So it could just be, you see the potential of a book or a course on topic A that you think a lot of people would be interested in. We'll find somebody that's good at that, and you partner with them. They provide the content. You handle all of the back end, all of this piece, and you put it together. So,
and we can help. We'll help you do that.
And so
that's a great.
What we're gonna. Oh yeah, see one real quick. So guys, Peter was asking about a summary. So guys, right now what we're offering is 6 live webinar training sessions, going through each piece, going deep into each of those. A private mentoring community, which if you're in any of the Facebook groups that we have, especially the private label mentoring one, it'll be like that, where we're just constantly answering questions, providing new content, of course, additional advanced training, and the opportunity for partnership. So if you have an idea, you're not sure how to do it, don't want to do it, don't have time for it, maybe we would partner with you and help you bring that to market, essentially. So
right. So, and one of the things we didn't talk about like how long we would take to go through this, but I am going to say 6 months. We'll probably do at least, maybe sooner, but one webinar a month, maybe 2 a month. But with the price point where we're at right now is, I guarantee you it's not going to stay at $97, but I don't know when it will go up. This is our first time actually opening the doors this way. So it will probably keep it there for a short bit. But as far as what's included with the how long it's going to go and everything, one option that you can do, and we almost did this with the private label group, when we opened that up in the Facebook community, we had 6 modules we were going to go through, and it was 6 months. And we were going to close the doors. We did close the doors, and then after 6 months, we would open it up in a new group. And those people who bought the first, they were out. It was just a 6-month program. But what we found is there's so much value to having those people stay in there and just close and open the doors whenever it seems like we need to shut it so that we can serve the community better. Sometimes it can be too much growth too quickly. So we've let all of those people who got in at the beginning, they're in there still. And what happens is they are able to help because they know more, they're further down the road. And we're hoping that'll happen here too. So I don't imagine, we don't have any plans to close the group up. If you're in, you're in. And whatever content we add in there, you will have access to. You will be grandfathered into that. Right. So at this point, and yes, all of the webinars will be recorded and they will be available in the group. We do, Ryan he can hook up Zoom so that it broadcasts through Facebook Live. So that all those videos will be in there. All the content that we develop for this program will be in one way or another available in the Facebook group and in this mentoring program. So that list of things that you had there, those 4, where it was the webinars and the community and all of that, that's the minimum, like Ryan was saying. That's the minimum of what we're offering. Hopefully, I know, I think all of you guys know us to a certain extent, and it's important to us to over deliver. So this is gonna just grow. And one of the things I've learned is, as much as we have it planned out, it's not going to look like how we think it's going to look, because we are all about helping you guys and meeting your needs. And as much as we think we know what those are, We don't.
Right.
We, I mean, we do to a certain extent because we know people and we know this business, but we really don't know you. And so this is about you and it's about us helping you. So we hold this loosely only because we want it to be as valuable as it can be for you. And we know that if we hold it super tight and we say, this is what it is, that it won't provide as much value as it could if we are just watching for needs along the way and trying to help meet those. So, any other questions?
I think we answered them all.
Good. You can ping us
Yeah, of course.
through email or Facebook or whatever. Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on with us. We're super excited about this. We love this type of stuff. We love brainstorming, like Jenny was saying. So, if you get in and don't know what your topic is, what you're interested in, or how that could even become a product, that's the type of thing that that mentoring group will be for, is help us brainstorm with you ideas. So, and again, if this is a fit for you, jump in right away because the price will go up. If it's not a fit for you, that's totally fine. We know that it's not going to be for everybody. So we just know this is something that's on our heart. We have to do this and we're excited about doing it. And we'd love to have people on. How long is the offer available?
Okay. It'll be at least a week. It'll probably be a couple weeks, if not that. Right, Ryan?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. Peter, like if we just email us, if probably a couple weeks, I imagine. But if you honestly, if it's 3 weeks and you've seen the price or like way higher or whatever, email us. We want to help. And again, if $97 is too much for you and you desperately want to be in this, email us. Like Jenny said, this is not about the money, obviously, or it would be a lot higher price. We just know we want to do this. We want to help. And so, the time, I understand the time too. So if I would, if you know you want to do it and it's just about the time, go ahead and jump in and then just take action whenever you have the time to take action, because the content will always be there and we'll always be in the group helping out. So, yeah.
Well, and we have plans to grow this too. So it's not going to go stagnant. We love to engage with people in the group. So.
Tim, talk to me if you have questions. Your longer question above, I didn't have a chance to go over and kind of process. Be happy to, let me actually save this chat and I will email you. So cool, guys. Thank you so much for being on. Appreciate your time tonight. We will talk to you all later.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, guys.
Bye.